What up, guys? Welcome to the Stat Bets official YouTube account. This is our first video as a group, and it is going to be a free play for this Saturday, UFC 302, Poirier, Makhachev. The co-main event is Paulo Costa and Sean Strickland. We got a play for you. It's a two-team parlay that we think has some value. We absolutely love this one, and we're going to give it out to you guys for free. I'm going to do a little in-depth breakdown for you on why we think it's the right side to be taking. We're not a big parlay group, but when it comes to the UFC, oftentimes these heavy favorites do have an edge because it is such a lucrative sport where you can take advantage and get into the market early. So we're going to start with the betting splits here. Common misconception with the betting splits, as you can see right here, Paulo Costa, Sean Strickland, Dustin Poirier, Islam Makhachev. Common misconception with betting splits. This is Vision, the website. They pull all their betting splits from DraftKings. DraftKings is a retail book, meaning their clientele are not professional or sharp bettors. That's why you see 47% of the bets on Dustin Poirier was 72% of the money on him as a plus 455 underdog. You will not see that on sharp books, and DraftKings is willing to take this exposure because they know that their clientele does not have an edge against them. So if you are looking at betting splits, please be careful. Same situation here with Paulo Costa. Most people would assign him to be the sharp side. However, the line is moving against both of those fighters. Islam opened up around minus 500, has dropped significantly in price. Strickland opened up at about minus 210. This is a nightmare matchup for both of these opponents. Paulo Costa is out of shape. He's a counter striker. He takes top 10% of return strikes per minute against a striker like Sean Strickland, who's averaging 5.5 significant strikes per minute, is going to be a nightmare. Islam is one of the best UFC fighters in the world, if not the best, and the recency bias on Dustin Poirier after he got that guillotine finish against Benoit Saint Denis a few weeks ago. The recency bias, he's a fan favorite, everybody loves him, is clearly evident here with the amount of money that is being wagered on him as a plus 455 favorite. Now we'll get into the stats a little bit here for Sean Strickland. So Sean Strickland, his strikes landed per minute, his striking accuracy, and his strikes absorbed per minute are all lower than Paulo Costa. Obviously, strikes absorbed per minute, Paulo Costa is higher, which is a negative thing, at 6.4, which is one of the highest in the UFC. The reason for this is he's a counter striker. He likes to hit combos off the jab after he's been attacked by his opponents. You can't do that with Sean Strickland, however. He is a very, very technical fighter. He almost outstrikes all of his opponents, win or lose. And he's not a grappler. Neither is Paulo Costa. Both guys, even though the grappling edge will go to Sean Strickland here, both these guys are going to want to keep it on the feet. But if it does go to the depths, if it does get to those late water, those deeper rounds, the takedown accuracy, the takedown average per 15 minutes, and the takedown defense are all slightly leaning to Sean Strickland. This number, this 80%, just changed after Paulo Costa's last fight. But obviously the submission is not in play here. So that's why I'm taking the striker who does more significant strikes, has the advantage for more significant damage over the course of the round. I think the minus 250 price tag is just a little bit too short for a guy who's more technical in almost every aspect of the fight here. And then this is Sean Strickland's latest performances, so obviously the loss to Duplessis. If you take a look at these significant strikes right here, outstriked him by 40 significant strikes. Over here, there's another 40. Over here, here. Almost all of these fights, win or lose, he is outstriking his opponents. Now, where this could get dangerous is Paulo Costa is a counter striker, so he is very live for a round finish. But this over-under on DraftKings surprised me and made me like Strickland even more because it's over 3.5 rounds. Juice to the over. Remember, this is a 5-round fight. I expected that line to be lower because both guys do have significant power. But since it's favored towards those deeper rounds, I like the guy who has more accuracy, more cardio, and has a lot of experience in these longer, or not a lot of experience, but more recent experience in these 5-round fights. That is why we like Sean Strickland, even at the heavy price tag. Next, we're going to get into Islam and why he's going to dismantle Dustin Poirier on Saturday. Now, the second piece of this parlay is obviously Islam Makhachev moneyline against Dustin Poirier. A lot of people like Dustin Poirier. I'm one of them. I think he's a beast. He's been doing it a long time. But Islam is one of the best fighters in the world. He's on a completely different level. He's so technical. He's an insane grappler, insane wrestler. He can put you in a submission in a million different ways, and he's got an incredible gas tank. I think this is a really, really tough matchup against Dustin Poirier. His wrestling has been improved. Clearly, he's been practicing the guillotines. If you saw the Benoit Saint Denis fight, he caught him in a guillotine, but he was getting dominated by a wrestler that's not even as good as Islam is. And I'll pull up these highlights. So if you take a look at this is Poirier against Benoit Saint Denis here. You can clearly tell for the majority of this fight, he's getting dominated. He's pinned up against the fence. The striking from Poirier is obviously his best weapon, but he's getting dismantled throughout this whole fight. He lets his back get taken. Islam gets you in this position, it's game over. Because he's one of the best finishers in terms of submissions. But here was the problem. So he gets him up against the fence, Saint Denis does, and this is where Poirier is really good and counter subs, catches him in a guillotine at the end of this fight, and he catches him in a guillotine, completely wears him out here, and then ends up clipping him. One strike, that's all it takes from Dustin Poirier after getting dominated for basically a round and a half. If you take a look at a guy like Islam, he gets you up against the fence. This is Drew Dober, similar stylistically to Dustin Poirier. He gets you up against the fence, and he'll stretch you out. He'll put you in a submission, and he doesn't let guys like Dustin Poirier hang around. I think the minus 625 price tag is honestly a good find, even though it's insanely juiced. We would never play that straight up, so we are pairing it with Sean Strickland. That is your free play. 2-team parlay, Sean Strickland, Islam Makhachev, moneyline parlay. You can find it at about minus 155. Best of luck as always. Peace.